Well, good morning, everyone. It's Cherry Hill, New Jersey, RBN TV, and it's Coffee with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Osamendi. But once again, if you're a fan of this program, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is this young lady I have sitting right next to me.
Well, thank you for having me on your show,
My
Joe.
pleasure.
But I want to know, where's the coffee?
Oh, yeah, well, it's coming. We ordered it, right. This is Darlene Supnick. And Darlene, you wear many hats, of course.
Yes,
but
I do.
We're here to talk about something very specific and dear to your heart, right, today. And something that I don't think a lot of people are aware of, that they should be aware of. Your organization is Forgotten Angels Equine Rescue, correct?
Correct.
All right, why don't you talk a little bit about what that means?
Okay. I found out a few years ago, and I was showing horses, and I found out about horse slaughter in this country. It's unbelievable. Over 100,000 of our American horses, now remember, we do not eat horses in the United States,
right.
but over 100,000 of our horses shipped to Canada and Mexico, they are brutally slaughtered. They are sent over to other countries like Belgium, Japan, especially Japan, Italy, and they're eating them as a delicacy. But first of all, horses, in my opinion, and 87% of the people
Right.
polled,
Okay.
and foals and
and
polled.
poles,
That's
okay.
hard to say, because they even eat the foals, which are the babies, you know,
geez.
of the horses. Yes. So most of the people polled agreed they do not want our horses to be slaughtered, and these are not old horses. These are not horses that are lame. Most of the horses are under 9 years old. They are race horses, show horses, therapy horses, work horses, every kind of horse you can imagine. And we'll be talking a little bit later about how we have taken them right from the kill pens. They're called a kill pen. A kill buyer will buy a horse, and they ship them to slaughter. Some of them just come right from the racetrack.
Jeez.
Yeah, and in the second half, we'll show you a few pictures of horses.
Okay.
One horse won 283 races. We found it in a kill pen.
Is this legal?
Yes, it is legal. It's legal because horses are considered livestock. That's one of the things I'm on a mission to change that, because they're companion animals, but the reason they don't call them companion animals, because if you change it from livestock, the farmers and agriculture wouldn't get all the tax breaks.
Okay.
So one of the things I'm trying to do is get the horses to have a new designation of agricultural companion animals. And New Jersey is fantastic for horses. And I have to say that the horse is the state animal in New Jersey.
Okay.
And recently, I lobbied two senators, Senator Dawn Diego and Senator Troy Singleton, and they were gracious enough to sponsor a bill which got passed, and it was the Horse Transparency Act, and our governor signed it the first of the year into law. And what it is that horses that go through these auctions, and so the kill buyers can't get them, they have to show the tattoo, the brand, even the microchip. So this way, we can identify them, and rescues and even former owners, because we find a lot of stolen horses are going through auctions. And the worst auction is Pennsylvania, New Holland, one of the worst auctions in the country.
So this is very interesting, because people they're not aware of this.
No, that's why I want to bring this to the public. People have no idea. And even people think that they're sending their horse to an auction that's going to get a wonderful home.
Right.
It doesn't. The kill buyers work together, some of them, and they'll outbid each other, you know, to get the horse. And if they know you're a rescue, they try to get more money from you. It's very, very sad.
Wow.
You know, you see children sending notes that this is my best pony and this is great and I hope it gets a good home. They don't care. They don't even give you the papers with the horses when they're famous horses. So at least in New Jersey, we can identify them by the tattoo, because all race horses, harness horses with the carts, race horses, right here, they have a tattoo.
Oh, okay.
Or a brand, you can call it. The thoroughbreds have it under their lip. And a lot of people are microchipping horses now.
Okay. Now, you're talking about New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Are you bringing this a coalition nationally with this?
Yes, it is. It's called U.S. Horse Rescue Coalition, and we'll put up the, I think the information is up there.
Right.
What we did was, there are 4 people that started it. Myself, Susan Fitzgerald Mitchell, she actually started it. She's from Connecticut. We have somebody from Florida, another person from Connecticut, but now we have people joining us from all over the country. We have people from the Wild Horse Associations. We have every kind of person is joining this, and we're with the one goal is to either end horse slaughter or make it more humane, ways to intercept the horses before they get to these kill pens. And there's so many things that horses do. They work with children. They work as therapy. We've had at least 5 women who had cancer, and one of them was going to give up. And she said, I came here to help the horses, but the horse helped me. And all 5 of these women got through the chemotherapy, and they say that the horses helped them.
So, this is so important because of the fact that I don't think that people realize how beneficial horse humans can be, that combination. I understand you also work with veterans, too. Is that correct?
Yes. We started a program. We're working with Spectra Care Foundation, and they're in Lindenwold, New Jersey, and the Carl Rao Center. He was a famous person in New Jersey. And we started a program, Veterans with Horses, with Spectra Care, and Laurie Huggins is helping us with it. And we bring veterans, in fact, even disabled veterans come and they work with the horses on the ground. Okay. And next time I come on your show, we'll show a video, but I want to tell about one woman. She is a JAG, a JAG officer, and she watched her entire troop get blown up. She was away from the troop for a few minutes, and I think it was 9 of her workers. She said she's suffering from remorse from guilt, survivor's guilt, it's called. It's remorse from survivor's guilt. And she said that since she's been coming to the rescue for the horses, she has never felt so much more at peace. And when we go through the pictures, I'll show you one of the men who he said that this is the best thing he's ever done.
Why are working with horses and veterans so important, and why do they work so well together?
A lot of these horses, now in general, horses are very good. They're very spiritual, they're very relaxing, they're very therapeutic. But with veterans, we find that many of the horses, believe it or not, have PTSD from the trauma that they've been through. They're separated from their foals, they're separated from their buddies, and horses have long-term relationships. They're separated from their home. So horses suffered too. Well, we believe that the compassion of the veterans, who most of them have PTSD, except we have the disabled veterans too, but we mostly work with PTSD with the horses, and they relate to the horses. It's unbelievable. So the horse needs somebody, and the person needs somebody, and they go together, and the other thing is, you have this 2,000-pound horse that needs you. It makes them feel needed to have the horse relate to them.
Right.
It's amazing. My father, years ago, he bought an extra 30 acres for me, and he was a veteran. My dad, he was an Air Force veteran, and he said, do something good with this extra land behind my house. So when this program came up, or this opportunity, I should say, I jumped right on it. I'm like, this is perfect. This is my father's land, and he was a veteran, helping all these veterans.
Wow, it's really pay it forward kind of thing.
It's a passion. Sure. I've always been saving animals since I was a child. In fact, I sell real estate, and I say I sell homes to save horses.
Okay, right.
So it's a passion, saving animals in general, but mostly these horses, they're so beautiful. I can't tell you how majestic, and they're very spiritual. When you look into a horse's eye, you actually can feel something, and I feel like the horse looks into your soul too. So it's just not just me. A lot of people believe it. Now, other people just think of the horse as a work animal,
right.
Like the Amish have them as cars, and we get a lot of the horses. Many of the horses that come from the harness racing go to the Amish, and they become buggy horses. Now, they treat them well, that's fine, but then when they can't ride anymore and they're on the pavement and they're pounding and they're really not, they can't do that long. So many times they send them to auction thinking they're going to get good homes, but they don't. We have one picture that you're going to see where there were 70 standardbreds, and that's what they use, 70 standardbreds in one kill pen ready to ship, and we saved 2 of them. That's only 2 out of the 70, but we're hoping that we could get some help with fencing and get some more donations so that we could save more. We've saved 350 horses from slaughter so far.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd like it to be 3,050 though.
Right, sure. Well, where are these pens located? Like a slaughterhouse? Can you go through that?
You can't go through the slaughterhouse. The slaughterhouses are in Mexico and in usually in Quebec. They're Mexico and Canada is where the slaughterhouses are, but the kill pens, they're the buyers who buy them, put them in a kill pen, and then they transport them. They transport 70 horses in a truck that they're not even meant to be in a truck, all the way to Canada with no water, no food, nothing, all the way to Mexico. Now, if the kill pens are in Texas, they don't have that far to go to Mexico. But when they're from Pennsylvania, they have to go all the way to Canada, all the way to Mexico. So it's a long, horrible journey, and the whole thing is barbaric. And our American horses do not deserve it because, think about it, the horses really helped found this country.
Absolutely.
Where would we be without horses?
Absolutely.
I mean, even the American Indians are against this. They say, we lived with these horses. These horses were everything to us.
Right.
Think about the wagon trains, the mail. Without the horses, we wouldn't have gotten across the country. We didn't have a train in the beginning. We had covered wagons.
And all you could do is walk.
Yeah, right. So the horses, basically, I say, help found our great country.
You're right. I have a question for you, because you talk about the horse being a delicacy, but are they really safe to eat?
No, we don't believe they are. That's why we don't eat them in the United States. In the UK, they won't eat them either. We give horses so many medications, especially the race horses. You're hearing all about that they have LASIK and they have Bute, and then we give them wormers. And some of these things, I believe, from a veterinarian told me, can stay in for many, many years in their system. And many of the things we give them are carcinogens for people. So not only is it not healthy, but I mean, the worst one is Japan. They import the horses live from Canada, live, and they take the big Belgian horses, and they're live in crates, and they send them there, and they have to kill them within 72 hours, and they have horse sushi. That's just like that's like raw. Can you imagine how bad that is? And I feel that eventually people are going to start to realize they're going to get sick from this too. So not only is it inhumane, it's not healthy either.
Right. Okay. We're going to take a break right now, but we're going to be right back with Darlene Supnick and talk about saving horses. Stick around.
Waves of fun. Nights of excitement. And a trail of memories. Now that's New Jersey.
Well, welcome back to Coffee with Joe. I'm Joe Osamendi, your host, but once again, I must remind you that that's not important. What's important is this young lady I have sitting right next to me, Darlene Supnick, who is involved with Forgotten Angels Equine Rescue. And we're talking about rescuing horses that are going all over the world and being used as food, right? Now, Darlene, you brought some pictures with you, and so we're gonna let you narrate through for our audience some of the things you're talking about.
Sure, definitely.
Okay, what do we have here?
Okay, these are 2 Amish workhorses that we saved. These are the horses that go to Canada. These are Belgian draft crosses they're crossed with Haflingers, and they're like 2,500 pounds each. Wow. These are the horses that go live in crates. They didn't. They were saved, thank goodness. And then they're the ones that they kill in Japan for sushi within 72 hours. And that's
Wow.
Maggie and Lola, who are now happily living in Pemberton at the farm at Magnolia. We have foster homes for some of the horses. We adopt many out, but we also have foster homes for some.
Okay.
When we have too many, we can't keep that many here,
Right.
you know.
Okay, next picture.
Okay, now this is what I was talking about. This is a racehorse that won quite a bit of money. His name is Sue's Destroyer. Now, when they're finished with him, we assume he went on as he was very well known too. We assume he went on to be a cart horse, a buggy horse, probably in the Lancaster area. And we found him in a kill pen, and he was in a direct ship pen where they would have directly shipped him to slaughter without giving anyone a chance. But a group called SOSS, Save Our Standardbreds, saw his tattoo, recognized him, and if you show the next picture, I will tell you what he's. Okay, these are the veterans. We're going to skip around a little bit.
Okay.
These are some of the veterans that come on our program. Some of these are disabled veterans. They work with the horses on the ground in our program, and they really love it. So we can see the next picture. This is Sue's Destroyer.
Okay.
This is the one that was racing. This is him at my farm, and he is now working with the veterans. And he's an absolute gorgeous sweetheart of a horse. Now, many of them come in shell shock after, think about it, they're really pampered in the racetrack. And then all of a sudden they're thrown in a kill pen with 70 horses. And I think you have a picture of a kill pen here. There it is.
Oh,
This is
wow.
what a kill pen looks
Jeez.
like. And those tags mean they're tagged to ship for slaughter. So all of a sudden, these pampered horses, these pampered racehorses are thrown in with all these horses in one little roll of hay, fighting to survive. And it's very traumatic for the horses. And I think we have one more. Oh, we don't. Okay. We started the coalition, and once again, it's US Horse NC.org, and that's the national coalition. And our rescue, which you can see all the horses and see all the stories, and we've been on quite a few TV show segments in Channel 6 and Channel 3, and ours is www.faer.com.
Now, at the end of the show,
And see,
we're
I'm a
gonna,
horse. You know why? Because I hang around with horses too often.
there you go. What we're going to do is we're going to, at the end of the show, I want you to look in that camera over there and tell people again how they can reach
Sure.
you, okay? How can individuals get involved with this?
Well, we always use volunteer. We always need volunteers. Absolutely. We need donations. We really do. Mostly, we need fencing and wood for the fencing. The problem is with COVID, it's been horrible because we can't, well, for everybody, not just us, but people are dumping their horses because they can't afford to feed them, they can't afford to keep them, and we are so full. So we could use foster homes, someone who would keep them until we find a good home for them. And the problem with the COVID is we can't do any live fundraisers. We used to do things like we would go to the library and the children would read to the horses. We would do basket auctions. We would do designer bag bingo. You know, all kinds of things. Paws Farm used to be open. And the people would give us donations. Can't do any of that anymore. So we're really struggling right now. We could use a grant writer too. If you need a grant, if you know of a grant writer, that would be awesome. We're relatively new. We've only been doing this. I say new, it's only 7 years. I mean, years and years and years ago, I was one of the group of people that started the Animal Adoption Center. And it took us 7 years, the same thing, before we got known. And we're just now starting to get known, you know, pretty much in this area. And so between our rescue and the coalition, you know, and our main motive is to save horses and to help people with the horses.
Okay, well, when you talk about adoptive homes for these horses, can you give us an idea of how expensive that is so people can understand what the costs are?
A bag of feed should last 2 weeks for one horse, and that's about $27 for a bag of feed. Hay is $7 a bale. A horse should eat about a quarter or half a bale a day. And if you have them at your home, it's really not that expensive as people think, but boarding in different areas, like certain areas in Medford, it's $750 board or $600 board, or if you're in a really fancy place, it's $1,500, you know, but Foster homes are really great because in a foster home, they feed the horse, but we'll pay for the farrier. They have to get their feet trimmed or shoes.
Okay.
We pay for the dentist, and we pay for the shots.
Okay.
And our Dr. Veronica helps us.
Oh,
Dr.
good.
Veronica was on this station for many
Right.
years. So she's wonderful. She adopted one of my horses.
She did? Okay.
Boomer. We saved a draft horse from a kill pen who was in foal. And the horse had a baby. She was actually a Premarin horse. That's a whole other story.
Okay.
Horses, they make Premarin for women, and it comes from pregnant horses'
Okay.
urine.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so this was one, and she had a baby, and Dr. Veronica adopted the baby, and now she's showing him, and he's like an amazing jumper.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, that's such a fascinating story, and I know Veronica very well too. And so actually, it's not that difficult or expensive to take care of a horse.
No, it isn't.
How about exercising them? And how do you do
You have
that?
to know. You have to learn how to ride.
Well, yeah, that one.
You should know how to ride. Have you ever ridden a horse?
Not for a long while. I did
Really?
when I was a kid. Sure.
Here I go interviewing the interviewer.
You're
I'm
right there.
terrible
There you
at
go.
that.
That's quite all right. No, hey, this is your show. I'm just here.
No, but yeah, you have to learn how to ride.
Uh-huh.
That's one thing. And then you have to learn how to exercise them. You can exercise them in a round pen or with a lead rope, or you could take lessons. We don't give lessons, but many of the people in our area give lessons.
Okay, the reason I brought that up is because, if good-hearted people think they're doing the right thing, but they've got to make sure they take care of that horse.
Yes, absolutely, because they're very delicate. If you give, I know a friend of mine had horses, and someone dumped something over the fence for them to eat, and I don't even remember what it was, but the horse almost died from colic because it was something that the horse couldn't eat.
Right.
So you have to be really careful. Even though they look big and sturdy, they're actually kind of fragile sometimes. Like when the weather changes, if it goes from hot to cold or cold to hot, their system, you have to be careful. If it goes from warm to cold, it's really cold. I cook for them. I don't cook for myself, but I cook for the horses. I make them a warm bran mash when it's cold. We usually keep around 15 horses, and we have everything from mini horses. We have little tiny mini horses to those big draft horses, that we showed you, and they all get along. And this is another really amazing thing. Horses fight sometimes. Nobody can believe this, including the veterinarians. Every horse that comes to our farm, they must know that they're safe. They do not fight with each other. They all get along. The mini horses are kind of bullies. Yeah. They're about as big as a German Shepherd.
Really?
They kind of bully the big horses, but they do not fight. It's very exciting. It's exciting to be able to save them, but it's even more exciting to be able to help the veterans and other people. And we're going to do it for children too. We're going to start including what we do. We have groups of Girl Scouts come out, and the Boy Scouts came out, and actually the Eagle Scouts are building us a horse feeder.
Good.
So we have the high schools come out and the grammar schools come out, and they come and visit. They just come and visit the horses.
Well, what I like about this whole program, Darlene, is the fact that it's so community-based. I mean, the community can get involved in this, and veterans are being helped, children are being helped, people with disabilities are being helped, and not only are they being helped, but the horses are being helped. So this is a win-win-win-win situation. There's no losers in this program whatsoever.
Right.
All you can do is gain from it.
Right, and it makes you feel really good to help these people and to help the horses. It's amazing.
Well, and you've been doing this for like 7 years? Okay, what do you see the next step for you?
The next step is I would like to get a second farm, and I'm working with the coalition, and we're looking at a farm now where we want to intercept the horses, especially from the Amish, before they get to the kill pens and before they get to the auction. In other words, go directly to them and say, look, don't send 50 horses there, send them to us. So that's the next thing for us.
Well, Darlene, we're at a part of our program right now. I'm going to have you look in that camera right there and tell people how they can reach you, who should call you, and your information.
Anyone could reach us. You could come and visit the horse rescue. You could donate. You could volunteer. You can adopt a horse. My number is 609-820-6377. The Forgotten Angels is the same initials, FAERNJ.com. And the coalition is ushorse-nc.org. And the NC is for North Carolina because we're based in North Carolina and here. And this was really great. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And let's get this out to the public so we can save more horses and help more veterans.
Well, certainly, Darlene, you were doing such a great job with these
you.
horses and the veterans and everything else. And anybody can help out there, whether you can volunteer, whether you can donate, whether you know somebody that can adopt these horses, please get in touch with Darlene and her coalition. And thank you for joining us, and thank you especially, Darlene.
Thanks, Joe. I'm going to have you come out and volunteer, too.
I promise I will. Okay. And thanks again, and we'll see you next Thursday.